one way or another. Let's grind and shine, baby. Turn me up. Yeah. We tell them, ain't no party like a cowboy party. Let's go. Yeah. Bringing you the news. Shout out to the HBOs, the SGs in the house. Y'all know who you are. Come on. Wide receiver Tony Pollard, huh? Don't be part of the go along, get along game, right? Yeah. Shout out to all of the mamas cooking out there, right? Let's go. Where the haters at? We need them too. Pull up. Let's grind to shine. Open up your mind, your heart, soul, and sinew. Shout out to all of the dogs out there. The repeat watchers. Those who watch it multiple times for your mind. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, it's grind time for your mind. Micah Parsons. Shout out to Keanu Neal too. That joker been eating the weights, huh? Share gang, share gang. Salute to you all. Yeah. Come on. James Worthy in the house. Let's go. Shout out to all my dogs, man. Really do. Appreciate you all. Come on. It's 2021. Let's go. Yeah. Come on. Ain't no party like a long nation party. Let's go. Let's ride. Let's go for your mind and time. Let's go. Mama said it'll be days like this, huh? And remember, you're listening. Go ahead and finish the rest, Cowboy Nation. Good old Micah McCarthy. Almost finished setting up. Turn me up, baby. Who's going down at the Oxnard? Yeah. I can't wait to see y'all this weekend. Well, not this weekend. Well, down there in the Oxnard. July the 21st. Come on. Shannon. I see you, fam. Asmodeus. Appreciate you. Let's grind. Let's go. Shout out to you, Sadiqua. Matt says we go 11 and 6. Come on. I know you grinding, right? Yeah. 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 They go hard, right? Appreciate you. Appreciate each and every last one of you all. Shout out to Kwame Brown, sprinkling the mamas cooking over there on Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to give a shout out to Kwame Brown on every one of my episodes because he's fighting for the people. He is. I don't take everything that he said, but some of the things I said, yes. that lady said, all you got to do is say yes. Oh, yes. All right. My name is Law Nation for those who are out here that's watching and tuning in to this particular episode. We're going to go over some of the big moments of what Mike McCarthy was talking about in the presser that he just had on YouTube, and as well as Twitter, Twitch, and whatever else they are at. They everywhere just like me, right? Midday grind, cold milk 72. Yes, for your mind. Let me put that up there. So here's the situation and the scenario. Offseason is long for a reason. It's long. It's long. And I'm quite sure I got to put this out there. Hold on. Here we go. Whoa, Sadiqua, get your dog. Yeah, so what up with you, Charles? Appreciate you for jumping in. The off season is long. It is. Let me get my coffee. And it's long for a reason. And the reason why it's long, because you got to do the evaluation. So some of the bigger things that I pulled from the presser was the fact that, number one being that Tony Pollard is playing wide receivers, right? He's just practicing, and we talking about practice, and it's due to the fact that it was short-staffed as it relates to wide receivers, and I'm sitting here scratching my head like, for real? But he said he had a lot of people that's out. And the other thing that was brought to my attention was CeeDee Lamb. He said that CeeDee Lamb is the ideal of what you expect your second-year wide receiver to be. And that's CeeDee Lamb. He's bigger, stronger, faster, and all of these things. So you guys saw some of the clips that I posted, and you can go to the website as well, the Cowboys.com website, and you'll see CeeDee Lamb jumping out of the sky. The other thing that was real major to me, just to me, was the fact that this guy right here, just bear with me, Randy Get Down Gregory. Get the dogs everywhere. That Randy Gregory is being talked about. I should have put him on the thumbnail. I've been saying this, I've been echoing this for at least 6 months now. That close your eyes and imagine Randy Gregory not being sullied and denigrated from a plant, and he can do whatever he want. He's not going to get in trouble. And now he can
smoke weed every day.
But beyond that, he's not going to have any ramifications for it. Beyond that, he could get out there and practice with his contemporaries and work out and pick up the system. Now, what Dan Quinn is going to do is he's going to look at this thing and say, man, number 94 is ablazing. And I ain't talking about
smoke weed every day.
I'm talking about this guy is everywhere. He's fast. He's quick off his release. He got good hands, got good placement. And we can talk about that bend, that shoulder blade that can get so low he can cut grass. And all I was saying last year is that can you imagine that if he's not sullied or denigrated by Roger Goodell and he can get out there sooner, faster, and earlier, man, we can see some productions off of him or out of him. But you know how Roger Goodell and all of the other stuff and suspending the guy, the equivalency. Let me show you guys how crazy this is. There's never been an arrest report. There's never been police called to his house. But this kid get all of the trash stuff that happened, TMZ and everything else, right? But just suppose if you look at Antonio Brown, who played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if I was just an alien that fall out of the sky and I was to see two teams and I would sit there and say, hey, this Antonio Brown did more egregious things than Randy Gregory ever thought about doing, right? would never do. Basically, I can't even talk today. Let me sip on some more coffee. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? Shout out to Rue Glock. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. You like that?
Smoke weed every day.
Daniels is that sound effect. Oh my goodness! But you know, there's always drama when you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Basically, that what that drop was for. And when we think about it collectively, now Randy don't have to worry about it. He don't. And I'm not trying to sully or denigrate Antonio Brown for the Buccaneers. I can't wait to see him week 1. Rasta Gregory. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to you, Ryan Kirk. And here's the other thing, though. What was major to me, the fact that this team knows what they need to do in order to get right. They already know that the offense is going to be great. You know, they already know that this particular defensive side of the coin need to improve. And when I think of, let me go to the Dallas Cowboys Twitter account. You see that guy right there? That guy been in the gym. Some people that's new to the channel, they probably say, man, who is that? I don't even know who that is. Who is that? That boy been in the gym. That's your weak side. That's your weak side linebacker. That's Neil right there. Appreciate you, Banks. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that donation to help elevate the nation. Appreciate you. That boy big. He's gonna play the weak side. Do he look weak anywhere? Look at this, man. This guy is crazy. This guy is crazy big now. And when you think about it, I was sitting there saying, okay, we hear news. Let me see if I can pull this up. We hear news all the time about Parsons. He's primarily playing at the middle or the mic. And we know that's what he played in college, but they utilize him all over the field in college in certain run pursuits or certain pass situations. He got down and dirty, slide inside. And the reason why I say this, his ability to get upfield and to attack without thinking is amazing to me. And I'm talking about Parsons right now. This is not Parsons, by the way. This is Keanu Neal. But you guys get what I'm saying. And let me see if I can find that the quote. And these are some of the guys that I follow. Michael Gale can be sure to follow their pages. And he says right here, Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy said that rookie Micah Parsons is fitting in really nicely. First-round pick to see some work outside today. And his RPO practice last week almost picked off. So this is a situation where we talk about Micah Parsons. You got to look at it like this, Cowboy Nation. When I evaluated his film, there's one game in particular that I wanted to really look at, and that was the Ohio State game versus Penn State in 2019. And they was down by a couple of points. And I seen the same relentless attitude, the mindset to continue to press it, to make sure that when the running back creeps off to the edge, he kept an eye on him. And then you know how linebackers do. They slow until you know, and then once they see that it's a running play, that boy go right into it. He do. Yeah. He flat out do. Hold on for a few seconds here. That boy flat out do.
Smoke weed every day.
except for post-practice. We'll spend some time post-practice meetings on Tuesday, Wednesday. Structured. There's been voluntary work going on, particularly today and tomorrow with the rookies. So that's a long answer to the simple answer. It'll be very similar. So,
Mike, what do you think Randy Gregory's benefited from having this offseason program? It might be the first he's had since his rookie year.
I think that's an excellent observation. I think if he was sitting here, he would tell you all the little things. Just having a chance to watch Randy work. I think it was in Thursday's work last week, just in a one-on-one pass rush instruction segment with AD. Just the questions that he was asking, and just to clean up the details of, the expectations of how we, want to play in certain schemes, but, just building that game plan, that pass rush game plan week in and week out. So I think it's helped him immensely. He looks very comfortable out there, and I think like the biggest thing for our defensive players is, and you'll see it today at practice, the communication is starting to look the way it needs to look. We're not where we want to be, and we just need this time on the field together. We can't just have enough of it, but just the way they're communicating and understanding what we want to do, and really because as an offense, defense, and even on special teams, you get to a point in the off-season program, and you especially want to get there before you get to training camp, where you're really focusing on what the opponent's doing, and really dialing into the details of the pre-snap mannerisms and the post-snap reactions of the opponent. And you can see our guys, we're starting to get into that mode. And just from my experience of off-season program, I always felt that the teams that went into training camp the best prepared are the ones where the players, okay, hey, we understand what we're doing. Let's really dial into the trends of the league, the conceptual understanding of what each situation gives you, and we're getting into that now, and definitely need to take it to a whole different level in training camp.
When you look back and assess the season that Randy had last year, as you did with all of your players, what did you think of it, especially in the light of how long he was away from the game to perform at the level he did? And do you factor that in when you look at what he'll take to do?
Definitely. When I looked at Randy's personal evaluation, I gave him 2 arrows pointing up. If you recall, I think it was 6 games. He was working, in an individual drills over there with Britt Brown for the first 6 weeks, and then we tried to integrate him, and just we're trying to be smart, and and I think that you get to the end of the season, you look at his production, you're like, well, Coach, why the hell did he play more? I get it, but if you go back to the path that he was on, not having a chance to work with him before that, he hasn't been on the football field, and so I think clearly his path last year was just he just continued to rise with every opportunity that he had. So, now going through a full off season, I definitely think he could be a premier primary player for us on defense.
The communication you're getting now, is that what you missed most last year, not having off season because of the shutdown, the teaching and the communication? That's the biggest thing you missed?
I would think it's definitely one of the key components of the foundation of any offense, defense, or special teams. So the repetitions of the communication this early in the process definitely was missed, because if you go back to when we actually did arrive in training camp and were able to get out on the field, it just wasn't clean, and it took us probably to a certain point in the season where we felt like we were really on the same page, and had to deal with some other challenges with injuries and so forth. But I thought near the end of the year, our process was where it needed to be. So I think clearly having this opportunity off-season program, I don't even like to talk about last year, frankly, because I think it's a terrible comparable. It's one I'm not using. So when I look at our off-season program that we're in currently, I compare it to my past experiences of when you did have a full off-season program. So And I have confidence when we conclude next week that we'll be pretty close to hitting the targets that you're able to hit in the past in a normal off-season program.
Can you discuss
Watching you guys in practice, just from what we've seen, there is more talking with linebackers, with the calls, and especially on defense. Is that emphasized more, or just a natural product of having these OTAs?
I think it's a couple things. It's a natural product of having the OTAs, but it's really the natural process of confidence coming out in the understanding and in the speed of recognition that's, clearly way ahead of where we were this time last year, because we were in Zoom calls last year. So, but I think it shows the confidence of what's going on, and that's a big part of being successful in this game.
Can you discuss what the team's plans are for joint practices this summer, and also maybe shed some light as to the thinking behind that structure?
Well, I'm kind of hesitant to talk about it because I just wish we would I wish we were able to put a stamp on it, say it's official. But I have planned to go to Oxnard for training camp. I've talked with Sean, the LA Rams, about a potential practice together. So him and I have planned that. But until it becomes official, I don't want to put out the rest of it, because I'm a little hesitant, because things, I don't know if you noticed, things have changed a little bit here in the last year. There's decisions that are made that can change and change back, or change one way or the other. So, but that's what we're preparing to do. So if we did practice against another team, it'd be one day in Oxnard against the LA Rams.
Is there a certain date in your mind when you say we need to make sure this has to be done by this date before we can go anywhere?
In reference to training camp, or?
Yeah, training camp,
Yeah, if I could pick the date, it would have been a month ago. But I obviously don't control that, so I just got to prepare, and I had a chance to visit with Jerry quite some time yesterday. We talked about all the things that we feel good about it's going to happen. So, but until we stamp it officially with all the other things that go with it, I don't think it really should get into the detail of it.
Have you done them in the past, joint practices with teams, and is there with one? Well, you have 4 preseason games, so it's a little different.
Right.
But how does it help the evaluation process when you're at least for one day going against another team in practice?
I think it helps. I think it's a great opportunity to practice against another team, and I think having a chance to speak with Sean on the phone, and the understanding of how he conducts his practice and what you're looking for. He's done it a lot the last couple of years, so I haven't done it in quite some time, because in Green Bay we were just never going to leave the town. It was always just the way that's structured up there. So it's been quite a while since I've done it. I've seen I think in the 90s the practices against each other were a little different. So we used to do it every year when I was with the Chiefs. But I think there's a lot to benefit from it, because you can get really good situation work. I think it's good for your evaluation process. I know the personnel departments, I'm sure in both organizations, feel great about it, because they get a closer look at the another club's 90-man roster. So I think there's a lot to gain from practicing the environment, and the most important thing is to get the work done and get it done right, and be on the same page of what each drill, the details of what you're trying to get out of each drill, so both teams are on the same page there, because it's you don't want to get into the extracurricular and all that nonsense, because there's nothing to gain from that. So I'm looking forward to working against the Rams. It's definitely an excellent football team, well coached, and like I said, they've done it a lot lately. So this will be good for our players.
Mike, when did you decide to add Ben McAdoo to your staff, and what do you think what's his role going to be for you guys?
Well, Ben McAdoo's been added as a consultant, and he's a great resource for us. Obviously, I have a long history with Ben. Have a tremendous amount of respect for him as a football coach. and he's going to work primarily with both offense and defense coordinators. Just focus more on some pre-game plan focus, and I think he's a great asset, particularly in that role.
As you say, he's a consultant. How much do you expect him to be around? Will he be at all of camp? Will he be coming in here periodically, or how will that be structured?
Yeah, I mean, we're working through the details of that. I mean, right now there's a virtual component to it, but he'll be here throughout the off-season program, and he'll be at training camp. So we're kind of designing the role. I haven't personally had this type of role on my staff before, so Ben has great flexibility. Obviously, he's been a head coach in this league. He's been a coordinator. So he's worked with the front and the back, offense and defense. So I know Dan particularly was excited about it because, it gives someone from the opposite side of the ball perspective as far as, being kind of doing some pre-game planning projects on a weekly basis when we get into the in-season work.
Other than knowing him and having a background, since you haven't had this role before, why did you decide to structure this and implement this? And was it a difficult decision?
No, it wasn't. It was an easy decision. It was a very easy decision because I know the value of what Ben McAdoo can bring to your staff. And but meeting with both Kellen and Dan, this was a role that we felt that could really benefit from us, and not to get like super philosophical about it, but every coaching staff, there's a game plan schedule in the design of when you put third down in, when you put red zone in, and some systems of game planning do things earlier than others. And the point I'm making is we put a lot of stress on our coaching staff earlier in a 7-day week. We put a lot of stress on our coaching staff on Mondays and Tuesdays more than some do, and to get the volume of information to our players earlier on Wednesday and Thursday, so that we have Friday and Saturday for more review. Some people spread it out more over that 4-day period. So my point is, with that, we do a lot of pre-game planning. We're a week ahead of getting ready for the next opponent. So any type of resource that you can have to improve that process, I think is a real benefit. So and that'll be one of the primary focuses that Ben will be focusing on. Giving away all my secrets. You guys got to quit asking really good questions today. This is
between Joe Witt and Ben McAdoo, that's two coaches with whom you have a decade of experience with in your past. Was that an active effort coming off of last season to surround yourself with more people in whom you have such a comfort level and trust?
Well, I'll say this: in the year off, I thought a lot about a staff and dynamics of a staff, and I think when you do things a certain way for a long time, you try to be transparent and really dabble in counterintuition. Make sure you're looking at how others have done it. So I clearly made a conscious effort to be not to just go back and hire all the guys that I'd worked with before, and there's value in that. I was really looking for new in some areas, but I think after a year of doing that, I think it's like anything. Now I can weigh that against how I've done it in the past. So the value of Joe Witt, Ben McAdoo, and Joe Philbin, people that you've worked with, Rob Davis in the past, that they bring a tremendous amount of value to a program, because there's just, you're going to do things certain way that may not have been done that way before. So yes, this is definitely there is a consciousness of having people that because you really didn't get to change as much as I probably would have liked to last year, and I think it's normal for everybody just because of the type of season that we were in, and all the other things that were going on. So and I feel like we're getting closer to what I feel like it needs to look like, and definitely having those guys being a part of it definitely helps.
What are your expectations for Van Der Esch this year?
I'm sorry?
What are your expectations for Leighton Vander Esch this year?
Leighton, biggest thing for Leighton is, and he's well into it, is he's in great shape. I think he cleared, I know my time working with him, this is the best shape, overall, because he was coming off an injury this time last year. So just getting himself ready for, the endurance of a full NFL season. And I think everything else will take care of itself. So, he's been here every day. I love his work ethic. I love his approach. He's top notch in every category when you're talking about preparing for an upcoming football season. So, I think just the course that he's on, I think everything that's in front of him will be attainable.
Mike, what have you seen from CeeDee Lamb so far this offseason? And speaking of no offseason program last year, can you speak to his potential in the 2021 season ahead, having the offseason workout and also having Dak Prescott back at quarterback?
Yeah, I think, CeeDee is an excellent example what you're looking for in your second-year players. I've always felt with a full off-season program, the age, the second-year player benefits the most. I've always felt when you're able to have the full 9 weeks, and I've always referred to it as the second-year jump. You got to see the process, because every rookie comes into this league, their opportunities are usually different than most others. Some guys get a chance early, some guys don't get a chance till late, some guys don't get a chance at all outside of special teams. Their starting lines are different coming out of college. You're on different experience level, different planes there. But now that once they're able to go through a full season, they have an understanding of the landscape, the expectation, what's expected of them, and then you get into a full off season. I always felt that second year player, you got to see that jump from their initial start line, and that's something I've paid close attention, because if you don't see it by the third year, it's probably an uphill climb for that particular player. So, and to answer your question, I see CeeDee making that jump. You can see he's very comfortable, very natural. We've been making a conscious effort to make sure the receivers play all 4 positions on offense, inside, outside, and the 3 spot and the 3-by-1. So, even Tony Pollard's been playing some receiver, as far as some of the things we're asking him to do, moving him around and so forth. So we're just trying to really expand everybody's understanding conceptually in the offense. And we're talking about the pass perimeter right now, and I think CeeDee is definitely, you see him making that move that you like to see in your second-year players.
Mike, with Tyron and Leo Collins back, do you get a feeling that you'll actually see the offensive line you expected to when you took the job, even though Travis retired not long after you took it? How much did not having both of those guys basically for a full season impact this team as you look? Even though I know you don't want to look at last year.
I'm loving the positive vibes. They look great out there. I think Tyron is just going off of last year's experience. I've never seen him smile so much. And I think probably a big part of it is he's healthy. He's pain free. He looks great. LC looks great. The big man can run. You watch him go through the workouts. We definitely we're a different line when those two guys line up. There's no question about that. So it's great to have them out there just, on an individual basis, because what they've gone through last year. But, it definitely makes our line, our whole process up front, move a lot smoother. You can see their experience. You can see, obviously, the comfort they have, with Dak, when Dak's in there, and the command that he has. So it's great to have those two guys here.
We didn't see much of Zach Martin last week when we were at that open practice. Where is he physically today? Can you provide any context to his offseason? We had an injury to close last season.
Yeah, he just has some little stuff, and we're being smart with Zach. obviously he's played, he's got a lot of snaps. He's played a lot of football, but he's here every day. Sits in the front row of the team meeting today. So, he's doing great. Zach's, I don't know if Zach even took a week off after the season. So he's here every day. Great leader. Obviously, he's front and center on everything, but just being smart with him on the on-field work.
Mike, what's Micah Parsons'
his adjustment been like with veterans the last couple of weeks since rookie camp?
It's good. I mean, I think to be expected. You know, he understands football. I mean, he's a natural at that. You can see some of the things. You can see that. I mean, there was an RPO last week in practice he almost picked off. So I mean, you can see the ability and just the instinct, the way he can react and get off the spot. You know, at the linebacker position. So you're going to see. You just pay attention today. So I'm going to quiz you next week, but he's going to play a little bit outside. You'll see him rush a little bit, come off the edge today. So we're just going through our installs, our concepts, but he's fitting in real nice right now.
You mentioned Pollard taking some receiver work. Is that just a way to come up with more ways to get him involved? Different spots?
Yeah, sorry, Todd. We got a few guys who are nicked, so too, our numbers were down. We had a couple guys that were. We got a couple guys that are under the weather, with the allergies and some of the stuff that's going on right now. So our numbers were a little thin in it, but it gives us the opportunity to rep those concepts with Tony that we didn't do a whole lot of last year. So it's a combination of both those things.
How does he look doing that stuff? He did it at Memphis a little bit, obviously, but.
Oh, no, yeah, he's natural. Yeah, I mean, he looks very natural. I mean, Tony's an exceptional athlete. Looks very comfortable in the space alignments and assignments that we ask him to do. Dan Quinn's treating him as a receiver, so I think that tells you how he looks. So.
I was curious, when you looked at defensively the work in the red zone last season, how do you improve in that area? I mean, how do you envision making a step in that area?
Well, I think it's like any situation. It's especially down there. I mean, you got to win. The normal down and distance is, the win-loss last year was not, nearly what it needed to be, and it obviously starts with the run defense. So, the production on normal down and distance, and get the sticks tilted your way is the starting point. But what we're going through right now is really just trying to get the schemes tightened down. The red zone coverages and the red zone calls, and it's we're in install 5 today. So we got 5 today, 6 tomorrow, and we'll do 7 and 8 next week. So we get those in, and in 3 of the 8 installs are red zone driven. So I think that tells you the importance of it. So we can't get enough of these reps. So this has been good. And I'm clearly confident we'll be better than we were last year.
Will be a 2-day minicamp next week or a 3-day minicamp next week?
3-day minicamp. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
The 2 installs? How does that work?
Well, hey, it doesn't hurt to review.
Fair enough.
Sounds good.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Probably to a certain point in the season where we felt like we were really on the same page, and we had to deal with some other challenges.
All right, that was the end of that presser right there, Cowboy Nation, and we are looking at this particular guy, Mike McCarthy. You don't get a lot of smiles out of him. You're not going to get a lot of this guy being cheerful, happy-go-lucky. He's more of a cool, calm, and collected type of guy, straightforward, and I don't think that he will give you the runaround. So, unfortunately, it's hard to gauge what he brings to the table. It is. And my thing is, Cowboy Nation, as we look at everything, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in, by the way. My final thoughts of this will be Tony Pollard. He's explosive. You can line him up anywhere. You can fit in roles where you would think that he don't belongs, but he get there. And when you think about Randy Gregory, he's going to do his thing. So it's time to evaluate all of this. It is. It is, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. It's time to evaluate this when we see it out there on the field. Appreciate Appreciate you guys so much. Really do. I gotta go. I gotta roll, Cowboy Nation, but I will give you guys some more details throughout the week and throughout the day. For real, for real. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Turn me up. We'll kick it back up a little bit later. Let's go, Cowboy Nation.